Lately, we've been having lots of fun exploring the ocean with our favorite characters from Splash and Bubbles.
From helping Tidy clean the kelp floors,
making glow-in-the-dark jellyfish and exploring bioluminescence in the deep,
putting on a puppet show with Splash and Bubbles,
and making shark hats with Z.
Now we're headed to talk to the sea experts themselves, our friends at
the Georgia Aquarium! Hey friends! So lately we've been exploring the deep, deep ocean at the special exhibit at Children's Museum, Splash and Bubbles, Dive In, Lend a Fin. And today I'm here with my friend Kat from Georgia Aquarium, and we're going to talk about bioluminescence. Kat, what is bioluminescence?
Bioluminescence is actually a chemical reaction that can occur in some animals, some bacteria, things like that, but what's released by it, what's caused by it, is light from a biological source.
Whoa, so the animals make light?
Yep, all on their own. It is really cool and weird.
Wow, which sea creatures make their own light?
So a lot of times it's very deep animals. Anglerfish have their own little lures with lights that they'll kind of dangle around to attract food. Other fish, like loose jaws, will actually use light to almost illuminate the space in a wavelength that other fish can't see.
Ooh, so only they can see?
Yeah, it's like night vision just for them.
Wow, so the anglerfish uses light to attract prey. This other animal uses it to see just for themselves. What other uses do animal light have?
So there's actually a ton of different uses, and it just depends upon what animals we're looking at exactly. So some animals, like flashlight fish, they believe that they may be using that to kind of communicate and organize in the dark their schools of fish that they live together. Other animals, like say fireflies that live on dry land, they use it to find a mate, but also to kind of recognize who's who between two different species of fireflies.
Oh wow, so it's like their name tag?
Basically, yeah, but like a flashy, bright name tag.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Of the sea creatures that live down in the deep and make their own light, so you talked about anglerfish, how are they doing conservation-wise? Are they doing okay? Is there a way we could help them?
So it's really hard for us to study with conservation because I'm sure you guys are learning the deep ocean is not where we're meant to be. So we don't have a lot of information. But what we do know is that plastic trash gets very deep in the ocean and it stays really for a long time down there. And we also know that basically anything that happens in the surface will eventually happen down on the bottom, will make it to the bottom. So things like climate change, overfishing, pollution, it might take a long time to get down there, but it will get down there. So those are all things we can prevent to protect them.
Okay, that's good to know. So Kat, which creatures at Georgia Aquarium have bioluminescence?
So we actually have some bioluminescent fish called flashlight fish. Those are the ones that use it to kind of organize their schools and figure out how to move around together. They live in our Discovery Zone habitat. Technically though, you're biofluorescent.
I am?
Just a little bit.
Really?
You can't see it though.
Am I really?
Apparently, yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wait, how do we know this?
So they have special cameras. What we've discovered is that with special cameras, there's a lot of other animals that either bioluminesce or biofluoresce, kind of the same thing, but just slightly different ways to do it. But by using these special cameras that can see more than our eyes can see, we're discovering all these things, like humans, Tasmanian devils, actually even swell sharks. Yeah, there's sharks that glow a little bit.
Oh my gosh, so what does it mean that I biofluoresce?
We're not entirely sure what the purpose is because it's really interesting. It's right around our face, our neck, and our upper chest. So we're not quite sure what that is and why we do it. It could just be a byproduct, just something our body naturally does anyway, just because, or there could be some underlying use.
That's so cool, I did not know that. Thank you, that's awesome to learn. Wow. Kat, can you share one tip about how we can help protect our bioluminescent friends?
So since a lot of the bioluminescent fish we think of do come from the deep ocean, a lot of what we can do is make sure we're eating the right seafood, looking for sustainable labels, and trying to make sure we're eating healthy options like that, so we're not eating fish that are being overfished or affected by that.
Okay, great, that's good to know. Do you have a favorite animal that bioluminesces?
So I do, but it's technically not an animal. It's actually a dinoflagellate. So that sounds like a big weird word. Everyone thinks about red tide, and that's kind of scary because red tide's no good for people. But this particular species is really cool. If you've ever seen like in the movies where people waft their hand in the water and they see all the glow coming up, that's what this species does. They're my favorite.
Whoa, so it's a plant?
It is what's called a protist. So it's kind of not quite a plant, not quite an animal, so they're off in their own group by themselves.
Wow. Oh, cool. Ooh,
Those ones are neat because you can actually grow them at home.
that's really cool.
Yeah.
Wait, you can grow them at home?
Yeah.
Oh, we should do that. Could you tell us a little bit? We have at Splash and Bubbles in the exhibit, we have colored pencils that kind of glow under black light, and kids are coloring jellyfish. So could you tell us about any bioluminescent jellyfish?
So there is a species that lives in very deep water, Atolla, that will glow as well. But the other thing is that one of the weird things about bioluminescence is that they think it may be like a burglar alarm, a way of saying like there's a predator in the area. So some jellyfish don't bioluminesce on their own, but as they're feeding, they accidentally pick up these bioluminescent plankton, and that will actually also give them a glow too as they're moving.
Oh, wow. So then the other plankton know that there's jellyfish around?
The other thing is that they think kind of like a burglar alarm. You know, the burglar alarm doesn't stop somebody, it signals for help. So they think the burglar alarm is actually drawing in bigger predators that'll help then kind of drive away what's eating the bioluminescent animals.
Oh, wow. So then something will come eat the jellyfish, and the jellyfish will stop eating the plankton.
I don't want to say yes, but also since jellyfish are food for sea turtles, it does kind of work out that way.
Ooh, okay, interesting. That's cool to know. Wow, there's a lot of different uses for I guess I just think of a flashlight as like, it helps me see stuff, but they're using it in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, well, you got to think about it. Their environment is so different than ours that our needs are going to be completely different from their needs.
Sure, that makes sense. I don't live in the deep ocean.
Thank goodness. It'd be cold.
It would be really cold and quite dark.
Definitely.
Awesome, Kat. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Let's go on a scavenger hunt to see if we can find our favorite characters from Splash and Bubbles. Behind me hiding, we can find a Mandarin Dragonette. These guys are vibrant in color. Their colors help protect them from predators in the deep blue sea. And they produce a foul-tasting, odorous, toxic smell. Oh, who would want to eat that? Can you see them? Whoa! Did you see that? It's done from Splash and Bubbles. Well, almost. This is a striped furfish. Like a pufferfish, they can inflate into a large ball to shoo away their predators. Let's see if we'll do it. Right, there's no predators in this water. Ooh, look, it's an electric eel like Murray. These guys create an electric field, not only for protection, but for navigation and communication. They don't have the best eyesight. Similar to echolocation, these guys can see through murky waters. Look up, it's a stingray, just like Mayor Sting.
Hey everyone, we're with our friend Kat from Georgia Aquarium. Can you tell us more about what an ecosystem is?
Sure. An ecosystem is the sum total of all of the things that are living and working together in an environment. All the biological things, like the fish that are behind us, and all the non-biological things, like the water that the fish live in.
And why are coral reefs so important to the ecosystem?
Coral reefs serve as a huge nursery to fish and growing juvenile marine life. So babies have to have a nice safe place to hide. Coral reefs provide a huge amount of refuge. The other thing it does is it helps protect the land. As waves come in and come into the coral reef, it actually takes a lot of that energy and makes the waves a lot smaller and a lot less dangerous. So it protects the land and the beaches as well.
Can you tell us more about what other animals call the coral reefs their home?
There is a huge amount of different kinds of animals that actually live in coral reefs. They're some of the most diverse places on the planet when it comes to wildlife. We have fish. As you can see, there's a huge variety behind us, but there's also tons of snails, mollusks, like giant clams, like we have as well in the reef. You can find all different kinds of anemones and corals as well. One of the coolest things though is that some of our really truly rare ocean reptiles like sea snakes and sea turtles will also find their homes there.
Wow, that's awesome. In terms of human health, why is it important to protect our ecosystem?
So a lot of times our ecosystem serves a lot of purposes that we may not always see right away. In the case of coral reefs, they actually help protect land where we live by helping to dampen waves as they come in. It takes a lot of the energy out. The other thing is that because coral reefs play a huge part in fish nurseries, we wouldn't have all delicious seafood like we have if we didn't preserve coral reefs to keep home for that.
Nice. Can you tell us one fact about the coral reefs?
One of my favorite facts about corals is that when people think about corals, we think about tropical, subtropical location, super sunny, but there are corals that don't need sun to survive, and they just feed by filter feeding. There's actually a small cluster, it might be a little hard to see, right there in the shadows.
Wow. So can you tell us what other ways we can do to take action and protect our coral reefs?
Sure. Coral reefs are under several threats, and one of the biggest ones is climate change. So by doing some simple things around our home to help conserve energy and reduce fossil fuel usage will actually help our coral reefs. If you go out into the ocean and go experience coral reefs, they also face some kind of hidden dangers from things like sunscreen. Certain sunscreens aren't good for corals, so if you get reef-safe sunscreen, that'll actually help protect all the reefs in the area.
Wow, thank you so much for letting us know more about the coral reefs.
Whoa, that was so much fun, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, my favorite part was discovering coral reefs and how they thrive.
My favorite part was discovering different sea creatures and how they use bioluminescence.
What was your favorite part?
Let us know in the comments below.
Thanks for coming with us on our adventure to the aquarium.
And special thanks to our friend Kat and Georgia Aquarium for helping us dive deeper in the world of the ocean.
Explore the deep sea with your favorite characters from Splash and Bubbles, Dive In, Lend a Fin, here at Children's Museum of Atlanta till April 30th.
And keep the ocean adventure going in downtown Atlanta at Georgia Aquarium.
See you later, friends!
Bye!
There's orange polyps under this rock. So they actually, when they smell food, they'll open up, they'll put all their little tentacles out, and then any of these small food particles that touch it, they can grab it and pull it into their mouths.
Oh, that's so cool.
Right? This is called Tubostria, or I don't know about you guys, Latin names sometimes are so hard to say. We call them sun polyps or sun coral.
That's so cool.